A 2-day severe weather event is being set up in Michigan to bring some severe weather both today and tomorrow. That's Wednesday and Thursday, June 10th and 11th. And I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to skip some of the boring stuff because we've got a lot to cover today. Today, we have a slight risk for most of the lower peninsula and actually a decent amount of the upper peninsula with even a little bit of enhanced peeking in here and there. This is mostly going to be for wind, and I'll show you this in a moment. We do have a 2% chance of a tornado and a decent amount of the Michigan, but I don't see that being too likely. Main threats are wind and maybe a little bit of hail, but this is minor. This is a secondary system. This isn't as big of a deal, but this is tonight around 8 p.m. I'll show you the radar later. Thursday is what we're really looking at. The lower peninsula is in a decent amount of enhanced risk. That's a 3 out of 5, or a 3 out of 6, you could say, on the risk level. And all of the lower peninsula is in a slight risk, with the upper peninsula not being touched as much. This is going to be an interesting mixed system. Hail isn't super high up on the Storm Prediction Center, but wind is where things get a little bit scary. As you can see, there's actually a 45% chance of significant wind in some very small parts of the lower peninsula. But in most of Michigan, we have a high chance for some very strong winds on Thursday afternoon into evening. But then tornadoes are definitely not something you can rule out whatsoever. We have a 5 to 10% chance of tornadoes for most of the lower peninsula, and a decent amount of west and southern Michigan is in a chance of a significant tornado, meaning EF2 or higher. And even a little bit on the coast with a 10% chance of tornadoes, which could be extended. We'll see what the National Weather Service does. But let's go right to radar here. I want to show you tonight's little system. It's not something that I'm too worried about. I'll keep an eye on it for sure. You could see it kind of looks a little scary here, but as it gets into Michigan, it's not very strong. This is 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So what is that? 7 p.m. EST? I never know. It's some 1 hour close to that. But if we look at the photograph here, the cape is outrageous. It's kind of interesting. It's 3200 cape, meaning there's a lot of fuel for these storms, but it's not going to have a strong updraft because, as you could see, well, as I can see and I can tell you, the rain is going to fall right back on itself, right back on its main source of updraft, and therefore the severe risk isn't super high. If there is going to be a tornado, it would be a quick spin up, but I don't see that happening tonight. Um, I'd say the main threat is just some strong winds here and there, and just some heavy rain, and a little bit of lightning. So it wouldn't be a good time to go out this evening. But this is not the main focus, and there are going to be a couple thunderstorms that roll through really late into the night, like 3 a.m. Real quick though, I want to go to the RRFSA, and I want to show you today. You could see some scattered thunderstorms that maybe have a higher chance of like some hail, um, because the Cape is so high in Michigan today. I would say you could see some of that ahead of the storm around 5 to 7 p.m. But that's not really that big of a deal. I don't think that's too much to worry about. But let's take a look at the RRFSA. Um, as you can see, this is like overnight Thursday. Um, you can see some very strong storms forming over here in Iowa and going into Illinois. I mean, this is a very strong storm here. And it kind of falls apart, which is interesting. But then take a look at this very strong bow, squall line, QLCS structure, whatever you want to call it. And this whole black blob here is saying, hey, there could be tornadoes in this storm. But we're definitely going to be seeing some damaging winds from this storm. If I click on it, you can see the cape is actually not too good, and actually there's even a bit of a capping version. But we've got very strong low level shear and even high level shear. I think, yeah. I mean, I think there could be a decent updraft at the front of the storm, falling back down on itself behind it, and with very rapid motion. I think you could see some big hail with this storm. Strong winds, and yes, definitely a tornado or two or more cannot be ruled out whatsoever. But different models say different things. We can see a very strong bow echo structure here, and a lot of times when the bow echo wraps around itself, there are usually tornadoes up here, so we'll really want to watch out. Below I-96, we could see some tornadic activity for sure in Michigan, and now this is coming in, you know, no later than 8 It hits the shore probably around 8 p.m., going through Michigan up until midnight. So there's a small chance you might be able to see this storm before sunset, but it could be an overnight storm for a lot of people. Now I want to take a look at the different models saying different things. This is an old HRRR run saying that it's going to come in later, but this is like a day old. The GSL says it comes in a little bit higher into Michigan. NSSL says it's coming all over Michigan, which I think that is a good chance for that to happen. And the NAM says a similar thing. So it's definitely going to change a little bit. Like I said, I didn't say that, but we're 1 day out, so there's a chance that this is going to change a lot. But let's take a look at the updraft velocity run max real quick. What the heck? Let me do 3 hour max. There we go. As you can see, there's a lot of storm relative velocity associated with these storms, like a lot of it. Um, and a lot of it goes into Michigan, into that late evening, into overnight hours. And so, like I said, a chance of tornado is decent. It's definitely decent for Michigan tonight. Um, but I would still say the main threat is wind. Another reason why we might not get as many tornadoes as it sounds is because the Cape is not very high. It's above 1,000, so we have enough for a severe thunderstorm. But I mean, we're only reaching 2,000 in the very southern parts of Michigan. So if there is going to be a tornado, I think it might struggle to produce. But because we have such a violent storm coming from, what is the state? Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois, it's gonna hold its strength over the lake into Michigan. I don't think it matters how much cape we have here. I mean, this thing looks like it can hold itself together pretty well. It's got very strong structure, and I'm gonna make another video tomorrow as the models get better. But just one more reminder tonight, around 7 to 10 p.m., we could be seeing some marginal severe thunderstorms, and we do have a slight risk. Where's that? Right here. And so, a little bit of wind can't be ruled out. Tornado, maybe. Unlikely. But for sure, Wednesday, we could be seeing, or sorry, I'm so sorry. Thursday, we could be seeing some serious severe weather, anywhere up to very strong winds, maybe 75 miles per hour or higher, and an EF2 tornado or higher could not be ruled out.